we are back. I hope you're excited. Yeah. Nimewa promise. We are gonna fight a little bit. Si sana. Junawapenda, yeah. Because I love you guys. I won't fight you so much. It's gonna be just a little bit. But now, since we are on Wednesday health check, our health comes first. And like I love telling you, you're given that body by God to take care of it. And if you don't become a good steward, you're failing the temple. You should take care of the temple of God. And yes, that's why we are having this segment. And I'm not alone in the studio. We are having a very amazing topic about marking lung cancer awareness. Yeah. And with me here today is Dr. Joseph. He is going to talk about all that stuff. Yeah. So I hope you guys are excited as we start and go on. I know this is gonna be interesting. So yes, good morning.
Good morning, Lizzie.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Amazing. So tell us about yourself. Who are you? And everything, just anything you want to tell the audience about yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Mageto. I'm a medical doctor working for HCG Cancer Center. It's a specialized hospital in Nairobi for treating cancer cases, and it's next to MP. Yeah.
Amazing. He's a man of few words. Yes, he's told us his name and where we can find him. Amazing. So today we are going to be discussing matters lung cancer. And there's someone who gets that word lung cancer, and they might know or might not know what it entails. So would you explain to an amateur or someone out there what lung cancer is all about?
Yeah, thank you so much. When you talk about lung cancer, it's one of the leading cancers in the world. But I'll have to first define what cancer is. Cancer is whereby when your cells in the body, they're growing at a very high rate compared to the normal. So this leads to formation of big growths we call tumors. Okay? So that's why you hear people say, alipatikana na tumor, he has a tumor. That's what they mean. These are cells that are growing really fast. And for lung cancer, now these cells are in the lungs. Okay? The lungs are located in our chest, and they help us to breathe. Yeah.
Amazing. So what brings about the aspect of lung cancer? Because there are most people who get lung cancer and they are not smokers, because most of the time we always think tobacco smokers, those people who use cigarettes are the ones who are at a risk of getting lung cancer. But then we find other people who have cancer and they've never smoked in their life. So what are some of the causes that bring about lung cancer?
Yeah, thank you for that. First of all, I want to first talk about lung cancer in terms of how it affects us and the world. Mm-hmm. We know that lung cancer is the leading cause of death in terms of cancer all over the world. But in Kenya, it's a bit different because we get other cancers which are more than lung cancer. We get about 1,000 cases of lung cancer every year. Okay? But the thing about lung cancer, it has a very high mortality rate. That means almost 90% of people who are diagnosed with lung cancer in our country die within a year.
Oh, okay. And why is that?
I think the reason why we get such a high mortality is because a lot of people come in very late. Mm-hmm. Like abroad, compared to abroad, most people come in really early and they can get treatment. But now people in our country, we usually come in at stage 3, stage 4, and it's really advanced. This making treatment also very difficult. Hard and a challenge.
Yeah. So maybe, like for me, I'd say we see the signs, but we ignore them. Maybe I cough and I'm like, oh, this is a cold, it's going to be okay. So what would you advise people generally to do? Because now if it is realized at late stages, then that means early detection isn't there. Yeah. So what should we do as we as Kenyans,
Yeah.
I'd say, to make sure that we at least get checked and it's detected in an early stage?
In an early stage. Well, first of all, we need to know the signs and symptoms for lung cancer. And one of the signs and symptoms is cough. Cough is the most common sign, but you see, cough happens in many other conditions. But if it's a cough that has been more than 2 weeks, okay, that needs to, you need to go to the hospital. Second is cough and you're coughing blood. That is very, very high diagnostic for lung cancer. Second thing is having vague chest pain. And this chest pain has been there for more than 2 weeks. You have lost weight. You have shortness of breath. Normally, you can walk, let's say, 1 kilometer without getting shortness of breath, but now you can't even walk to the washroom and you're getting shortness of breath. So these are the signs and symptoms that you need to watch out for lung cancer. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, for example, I feel I'm having coughs, or I've noticed some blood stains and all that, but I go to the local hospital and they're like, this is normal, take these meds, this is gonna be okay, because it's not in the first instance that you go and they do a full test, to really decide or tell you it's cancer. So, and then maybe I keep going, maybe twice or thrice, and wananipea to the same meds. What would you advise as a doctor should be going on in such a scenario?
Well, unfortunately for our country is we also have other conditions that might mimic lung cancer. And an example is TB or tuberculosis, which is very common in our country. And for a long time, most people who presented with such signs were immediately diagnosed with TB and they were started on treatment. But now, the unfortunate thing when you take treatment for TB and you don't have TB, you have lung cancer, is you won't be getting better, you'll be getting worse.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, whenever you're already started on treatment and you're not getting better, it's good to seek a second opinion. That means if you have gone to your local hospital, your level 3 or level 4 hospital, maybe now you might decide to ask to see a specialist doctor who now might do the further investigations. Yeah.
Amazing. That's to you. I hope your point haijakupita, because at times we assume you're like, oh, it's gonna end. It's because the weather just changed. It's just the cold and everything. But yes, we need to be very serious about our health, like I told us. So maybe, for example, you as a doctor practicing this, I don't know for how many years, you'll tell us what are the chances of survival against death for people who just come, maybe you detect, is it a death sentence? You know, we always hear about cancer and you're like, oh, I am dead, I am done for. So tell us about that.
So in terms of my practice, I've been practicing for the last 5 years and I've worked specifically with cancer cases. And getting cancer is not a death sentence. Actually, I would tell you the number of people who have come to the office and they thought they were going to die, but they have extended their years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, and they're still doing very well. The idea is getting the treatment early, okay? And as I said, unfortunately for our country, most people come in really, really late, stage 3, stage 4, which makes the treatment really hard. So if we could get more people going to hospital, getting screened, we can start treatment really early and they'll have more years. It doesn't mean getting cancer doesn't mean it's a death sentence.
Yeah. Okay. In regards to why most people come in late, we as Kenyans have the mindset of, hey, going for those analyses and checks is very expensive. So what happens around there? Because you always feel like, hey, mimi sina hiyo pesa ya kuenda kuangaliwa. Free checks, na si ati mimi ni mgonjwa, mbona nitupe pesa, you know. So as a doctor, what would you tell us in regards to that?
Well, I'd say like most people come in really late and it's not just because of one thing, it's a number of factors.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is information. Most people don't have the information. They are not aware some signs and symptoms of these diseases.
Yeah.
Okay? So the moment you get this information to people, the more they're aware and the more they'll take steps. Okay? Two is also like the cost. As you mentioned, it's usually very expensive going to hospital and you're told you need to do this test, you need to do this test, you need to see the doctor, you need to pay this and this. But currently, with new programs, the government is trying to enroll, especially now in terms of cancer. SHA has funds for cancer for each and every household.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes it cheaper for everyone. Third is accessibility. Most of this treatment is very specialized, especially treatment for cancer. And unfortunately, we still don't have the manpower and we still don't have the resources for everyone in the country. In Nairobi, we're doing well, but now
The
areas like
urban
Turkana,
areas,
the areas that are far away, we still need to do more. Yeah.
I thought of something. Does diet also bring about the issue of lung cancer? Ama, that is not part of what causes it. Like, is how I eat and my lifestyle also a factor that could bring in lung cancer?
Well, thank you for that. I'd like to say there's some certain lifestyle choices that make or increase your risk for having cancer. And one of the things we know is smoking. Smoking causes about 80% of all lung cancers. So people who are smoking cigarettes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, we're still trying to do studies to see if vaping or e-cigarettes can risk you to lung cancer. But we know that vaping has some of those chemicals or some of those agents that can cause lung cancer. But still, because lung cancer takes a while for you to get it, we're still doing studies on that. Second thing is people who use fuel, especially firewood, to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people in Mashinani,
Yeah.
the ones that use firewood. And you can see how their kitchen is. Normally, people have a kitchen, they don't have a window, so the smoke
You
can
just
bring...
keep inhaling it.
Yeah, you keep inhaling it for years, can lead you to getting cancer. Other people who are at risk are people who work in factories, people who, because of the smoke and the chemicals,
Yeah, they inhale.
they inhale the chemicals, they are at risk of getting lung cancer. So those are some of the lifestyle choices people have and people make that can lead you to getting lung cancer.
Well, at some point it feels like some things are just out of control. Because sasa, if kuni is the only way I can cook, what do I do? But I think they're like you're saying, at times the kitchens don't have windows. How
Yes.
about you have windows?
Yes.
How about you have a chimney?
Yes.
It would help.
Yes.
So,
and if you're working in the industry, if you're working in the factories, you need to have what we call protective
gears.
gears.
Yeah.
So you have your mask, you have your gloves, everything that will protect you from these chemicals.
There's always a way out. Niliwaambia leo tunapigana vibaya sana. Because, we love the victim mentality. Apana, unajua, sasa ningefanya nini? There is always a way out here.
Yeah.
So, right now, where we are, acha niseme as a country, niseme in the world,
Yeah.
AI has really come in at every small like kila mahali too, they are using AI. So in your field, is there a way you've implemented or brought in the aspect of using AI?
Yeah, actually, we're still at the early stages of implementing AI in medical care. And right now, we have new equipment, especially diagnostic equipment, like CT scan X-rays, which help to detect these tumors, especially the lung cancer. People can use, they're now equipped with X-rays that you have AI integrated in them to help detect these cancers early enough. Yeah, so currently we are using this new machinery. We're using these new equipments, especially now in Nairobi, in Kenya. At HCG, we have all these new equipments that are available all over the world, but we also have them locally to treat and to diagnose these new illnesses, yes.
Okay, for you as a doctor, what is your take in regards to using AI? Because the first thing that comes to our mind when we hear AI is, hey, manze tutakuwa replaced, tutakosa kazi, yeah? So for you, do you really support the fact that they're bringing in AI, or do you feel like it's kind of going to take your places in some way?
My thoughts about AI, I look at AI as a tool. I don't want to say initially human beings used to walk until someone invented the wheel. We used to, until someone invented the fire. So AI can be used as a tool to help us, especially now in the healthcare, to make it better for everyone. It's not meaning that people are getting replaced, but it can help us make decisions faster, make us treat people better using this technology. So I support the use of AI, especially now in the healthcare. Yeah.
Okay, right now, I'd say that young people, Gen Zs to be precise, hawataki vitu zinakaa ngumu ngumu. Thinking that you're going to study like 6+ years in university because you want to become a doctor, or such a thing equal like, mimi nisome hizo miaka zote, you as a doctor, I don't know if this comes out vibaya, but you don't look like you're so old. So yeah. So what would you tell us, and mostly mwenye ana watch ametoka form 4 juzi, I don't know if they're already done with the exams here. They're like, I wanted to be a doctor, but siku hizi, because I know and I understand my generation, hawataki vitu zinawachokesha, they just want to relax and all that. So what would you tell them?
I think I'd go and talk on behalf of our country and where we are as a country. Right now, we are young and we need people with expertise in many of these scientific fields, especially healthcare and medicine. So I'd encourage everyone, even though it looks long and hard, you still are important, we still need you. So just go, apply, go into school, learn, because Kenya needs you, we need you. Yeah.
Okay, now getting back to lung cancer, what are some of the steps that as an individual I would take, or you would advise me to take, to avoid, and like to just avoid mimi kupata cancer, some of the ways you've said about the people in the factories and everything. So what are other things that a normal person would do to avoid getting lung cancer? 1,
stop smoking. We know 80% of cancer is linked to smoking. And if you compare our country and other countries, the Western countries, people smoke a lot as compared to our country. And we see lung cancer is the most diagnosed cancer abroad. So we are seeing the cases increasing because a lot of people are also embracing smoking, cigarette smoking, vaping. You need to stop that. Once you stop that, I think you're on the right path. Okay? 2 is we need to empower people in the villages. We need to tell them about how using charcoal and firewood and all this smoke will affect you and your lungs, okay? Also, I think just going for regular checkups in the hospital can also help. If you understand that these are some of the signs and symptoms and you get them, you need to go to hospital immediately. All these things together will help someone avoid lung cancer. And if, unfortunately, you get it early enough, we treat it early enough.
And it's treatable.
And
it's not a death sentence.
Yeah.
You've told us that you major on cancers, yeah?
Yes.
So what makes lung cancer different from other types of cancers?
Well, lung cancer, first of all, it takes time for it to manifest, okay? So by the time someone starts coughing blood, it will have taken a few years. Second thing is the treatment itself. Okay, there are newer treatments right now that help treat this lung cancer. We have what we call immunotherapy. We have what we call targeted therapy. which are also available like in our country that can help treat lung cancer. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we've spoken so much about smoking. So maybe you would tell us for how long would someone smoke, or how long does smoking take to really mean it can cause cancer?
Well, we can't really say in terms of number of years, but we do look at it. Most people usually who get lung cancer have a history of smoking. Okay, you might have smoked cigarettes, let's say for 2 years, 3 years. That increases your risk. Okay, so that's why we encourage people just not to smoke, because any history of smoking can increase your risk to getting lung cancer. Yeah.
On the same note, there's someone who's smoking right now. Amesikiza daktari amesema from today I am not going to smoke anymore. So how long does it take now to reverse the chances of them getting cancer? Or if they had cancer and waache kusmoke, how long does it take to now reverse?
Like when you stop smoking?
Yeah, like I was smoking, nimeacha because nimekuja nimepata I have cancer, or maybe there are chances of me getting cancer. So after nimeacha kusmoke, how is the reversal process? Because now smoking is one of the effects of the things that cause cancer. I've stopped smoking. So how does it take to reverse now?
Well, when you're talking about reversal, that I'll have to say it's not possible, because you've already put yourself in the risk. Okay, what you can do is reduce the risk by stop smoking. Okay, and now having a healthy lifestyle. Okay, now doing exercise and eating well. These are some of the things that help reduce your chances of getting cancer. Okay, if you're smoking right now, you just need to stop. Okay, go regularly, get screened at the hospital, especially people who are above now 40. They need to now to go to hospital, especially if you had a history of smoking. Yeah.
Amazing. So we've spoken so much about smoking, but also there are people who are not smoking and they have cancer. So what should they do? Because now kuna mtu mwenye yeye ni wanaitwa passive smokers. They don't smoke, but maybe they live with people who do the same. So what should they do about that?
First of all, the people who are like passive smokers, which is one of the risks. We actually get people who come to hospital, especially women, and they're saying, how did I get lung cancer? I rarely smoke. But you ask Mzee, my husband smokes every day in the house. So you need to understand that is a risk, okay? And if someone is smoking around you, I like what the government did a few years back, where the government had to put like designated smoking areas just to help people from getting the effects.
But unfortunately, it doesn't work. Kenya, mahali penye mnaambiwa msifanye hivi ndo mna.
No, it works.
It does.
It works.
But what about the people who smoke all around? Kwa barabara unapatana nao and everything.
I think now that's against the law, but a lot of...
They're supposed to be arrested?
Yes, a lot of public areas, you actually go and people respect that and they don't smoke. Yeah.
Amazing. There's the aspect of shisha. Kwanza youths wameingililia sana. So at what rate does shisha cause lung cancer?
Well, I can't really pinpoint it, but we do know that inhaling of foreign substances, let's say shisha, let's say vaping, which is very common right now, might increase your chances of getting lung cancer. And how does it go about? You're inhaling these foreign substances into your lungs, and they cause irritation, okay? And the irritation takes time. When, after a few years, the irritation, we call it chronic inflammation, might now lead to lung cancer, okay? So shisha, vaping, smoking, they're all in the same box, okay? It's just that smoking was the first initial, cigarette smoking has been there for more years, so people have done studies on that. But now for shisha and vaping, these are new things which also are being studied right now. And the effects will be seen years from now, maybe 10 years, 15 years from now.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So hata watu wenye wanafikiria, oh, me, I don't smoke cigarettes, I am better.
Shisha, you know?
Check out.
Yeah.
At times, we get, like, for example, there's this aspect where at some point in the Western regions,
Yeah. Yeah.
there were cases of throat cancer because people were taking hot tea.
Yeah.
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 So how does hot tea bring in esophagus cancer?
Okay. I'd actually talk now. This is what I want to talk about, like the chronic exposure. Okay, when you say chronic, means long-term exposure to certain things, especially now when you're mentioning the hot tea or the milk or anything. This leads to changes in the body, which leads to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation might now lead to getting cancer. So you're getting exposed to this thing for a long time,
Yeah.
which leads to changes in your body. Okay, it's a foreign thing. It makes the body readjust, and that readjustment might lead to you getting cancer. Because now, when the body is trying to shift to try and protect you, now that's when you're getting the cancer. Yeah.
There's a, I don't know if it's a myth or it's a fact that I have had, that at times lungs
Yeah.
they are eaten up,
Yeah.
zinabaki kadogo. But I guess with treatment they grow again. Is that true, or is it a myth, or what's the aspect around that?
Whenever you have, let's say, an infection, or when you have injury to your lungs, the body has steps in which it heals itself. Okay, so first of all, you might get now the cells growing back again. Okay, but now whenever you have that injury, there's something we call healing and fibrosis, which happens to every tissue in your body. Okay, whenever you get injured. So when you get this fibrosis, you might be functioning well, but not at 100%. Yeah, so when you get the infection, the body has a way of healing itself, getting rid of the infection, even when you get treatment with drugs, especially now people who have, let's say, TB, okay, they get treated, but now there's still some changes that happen in the lungs. Yeah, so it's a balance. So you're getting your body healing, but there's still some of the effects of that
comes with that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe when we go back to inflammation, are there some lifestyle changes or lifestyle things that we should work on or change in regards to that?
Yes, we do. As you spoke earlier, I said we need to avoid such things like smoking, because smoking causes inflammation in the body. We also need to embrace eating well. And when I mean eating well is you need to avoid processed foods. Those are like your canned products. These are your processed meats.
Yeah.
Okay, those those things that we normally don't have locally. Okay, you embrace now our local foods, the mboga, the kienyeji's. Those help a lot, especially now in terms of avoiding and preventing these diseases. What else? Just exercising, having a healthy weight. These are things we have seen over and over again to be advantageous to avoid and prevent cancer and all these other diseases.
I'm smiling because I remember our parents telling us, hizo mboga hizo zenye ni kali hizo. Hizo ndo zinakusaidia. And you're like, Baba, I don't want this. When it comes to breakfast, amekusavia hapo sweet potatoes, and you're like, Mom, I don't want this. Daktari amesema, mkule vizuri, guys. When we think about, is it 2 weeks ago, we lost one of our very own, a music singer, a gospel Kikuyu singer, Betty Bayo. And she passed on because of leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. So we were shocked at first because we never knew she is sick. May her soul rest in peace. But how can we deal with such, and what does it entail?
Well, it's condolences, and we're sorry for the passing of Betty. I think what I really need to emphasize in is a lot of, whenever you get cancer and before it manifests, it usually takes a while. Most people, whenever now you're feeling the signs or the symptoms, it's usually after the cancer's been there for a while. And most people, that's how they get now diagnosed. You know, you're feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, the cough has now become too much. You can't now walk. Unfortunately, that's what I can advise most Kenyans is we need to start doing regular screening. We need to go to hospital and just get a regular checkup, even if it's once a year. That will help in detecting these things early enough. Yeah, because if you're waiting for the signs, whenever the signs are showing up, it's already too late.
Yeah.
Okay, and now that will make treatment really, really hard.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Growing up, na msinijudge guys, we used to hear, and probably the same notion still is there, that cancer is a rich man's problem. Matajiri ndo wanapata cancer. Sisi hata tuwezi pata cancer. So how true is that, and what is your take in regards to the people who say that?
That's a big myth. It's a misconception. Does most of the people I see, people who I treat, are usually people who are just from the normal Kenyan families, okay? People even from poor backgrounds. Everyone gets this disease. It's not specific to rich people. It's for everyone.
So everybody is at a risk of...
Everybody is at risk. Even when you're young, even when you're old, you're at risk of getting this disease. And my emphasis is still, you need to do regular screening, regular checkups. That will be, yeah.
It's very easy for you to tell us to do regular checkups, but for me, eti nitoke hapa, I am very okay right now. Niende hospitali. Niende niwaambie, nimekuja, mniangalie. You know, there's a mindset that is in us Africans that we're like, why would I do that? So what would you advise someone who's watching and they're like, hey, manze zi. Sasa mimi surely na hata sijaanza hiyo kukohoa niende tu niwaambie waniangalie, yeah? There's that mindset that we have. So what would you tell someone who is thinking in such a perspective?
I like to use the analogy of people who own cars. Someone who owns a car would go to the petrol station, they would fuel it. You'd even ask the attendant, angalia mbele, check mbele, and this is your car. Now, compare it to your body, okay? You also need to have that mentality. This is your body. You need to go to hospital once in a while for you to get checked, okay? To avoid getting late diagnosis, okay? And you can prevent a lot of things just for that. You go to the hospital, the doctor will tell you how you need to exercise, how you need to eat, okay? What you need to do in terms of treatment.
Wow. Hey, guys, ebu, love yourselves. Me, I always remind you, usipojipenda, nobody else is going to come to love yourself. And like he's saying, yani there are people who love their cars so much more than their bodies. Hey, ebu, let's check on that. I came across the term remission. What does that mean?
Remission basically talks, what it means is you're diagnosed with cancer, okay? And most likely you went through treatment, and now we're looking at it, it's like the cancer has now disappeared, or it's not there anymore, okay? So that means you're now doing well, okay? But it doesn't mean that you'll never, there are chances that it might come back again, but most of the times you're doing well. We can't see any signs of cancer again in your body, after the treatment.
Oh, that's after treatment.
That's after the treatment.
Ah.
You're diagnosed with cancer, you went through treatment. That means it could be surgery, could be chemo, could be radiotherapy. And then once we go back again, we check again, we see there are no signs of the cancer being there. So now people who are in remission are usually under close follow-up. That means
just in case a sign comes up.
Yes, we get it again. Or you might not even get it again ever.
Oh, okay. Amazing. We've learned a new term today. I hope mume take notes on that. Nitauliza next time. So, for example, I have a relative who is diagnosed with cancer or still going through treatment.
Yes.
What are some of the bedside manners I should have, or how should I deal with such a patient?
Well, I think cancer being one of the what we call chronic diseases means you get that disease and it stays there for a long time. Most caregivers need to understand, first of all, the heavy, how heavy it is on the patient. You're getting this diagnosis, you're probably well like a few months ago. Now you're on treatment. The treatment is really, really difficult. The vomiting, the loss of weight, you're not looking like the former you. So there's a lot of issues, especially cancer patients go through. And what the caregivers or the relatives need to understand, all patients need support. They need the financial support. They need the nutritional support. Just having someone taking you to the hospital, that is enough support for all these patients. Okay? You should not walk alone with this disease. It's a disease that it requires everyone to come in and work with the patient, the community, the family. Okay? Even in the hospital, everyone works with you. Okay?
Yeah.
The nurse will work with you, the doctor will work with you. Yeah.
I've heard of someone who had cancer. She had breast cancer, and then she got treated, like you said, and then it came back at some point. And now rumors say that the spouse, the husband, was mistreating her. He stopped loving her and everything. So is the emotional aspect, can it play a part in cancer coming back, or hiyo nayo pia ni myth?
Not really, okay? Because we know that sometimes even though you have undergone treatment, the disease might come back again. It's not that maybe the husband not being as supportive caused the disease to come back. But we do know that he's supposed to support the wife through this treatment. Okay, we do talk about a lot of the effects in which cancer brings to the patient, and even talking about how you have gone through surgery and you have a scar in your body and it makes you feel insecure.
Yeah.
Okay, but right now we do have programs. Okay, at HCG, we are partnering with Faraja, and we have places where cancer patients can come and they can talk about the effects of cancer to them and to the family. We have support to their caregivers. These are things which we need to embrace. It's just not the treatment, it's also after the treatment. What we need to do, the steps we need to take. Yeah.
Amazing. Sisi kama Waafrika tunajijua, Africans. Unless there's a foreigner somewhere listening, yeah? I know you might be there, but this is directly to Africans, We are so much invested in kwenda kwa waganga. You know, someone would be like, miti shamba, yes, they would help me with this. I think when I use this, I'll be okay. So how should we advocate for people to really go to hospitals and get checked versus them going to witch doctors?
I'd like to actually talk about that, and it's something I've seen happen so many times. Many patients come, and they come really late, and when you talk to them, they tell you, these symptoms started 2 years back, but someone told me to go see some doctor who gave me some mitishamba or herbs. Especially ladies, I've seen that happen a lot. And then now they come when it's too late. The mitishamba has not worked. You've spent so much money buying these drugs, and you could have come to hospital, got diagnosed early, started treatment. I think we need to discourage people going to people who are not professional, people who are not authorized to treat these diseases. Whenever you're feeling sick, just go to the hospital. don't go and start buying different herbs. They usually don't work as much. Yes.
Usiambiwe, I know someone.
Yeah. Just go straight to hospital. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, we had a specialist who was talking to us about breast cancer.
Yeah.
And she enlightened us and told us that men also get breast cancer. So when it comes to such, how do we convince them to go get checked? Not just for breast cancer, but generally. Because right now, if I go tell someone, do you know that men also get breast cancer? They're like, mbona unanichezea, you know. So how do we really get to convince them that they should also go get checked? Because like in your statements you've said women, so at some point it's women who really just come out.
Yes.
So how do we help our men out there?
I agree with you. Men tend to have poor health-seeking behavior compared to women. We see that women, whenever they get any symptom, they run to hospital. But a man would rather stay for 3, 4, 5 months, and they'll come really, really late. We need to encourage men to feel that going to hospital doesn't mean you're weak. It's not a sign of weakness. We need to empower men with information about the common diseases that affect men and how they're treated. Okay, so we need to have programs out there in the villages, out in the city, that encourage men to go to hospital, to seek care, and to be screened and treated for diseases. And it's not weakness. It's not weakness going to hospital, getting treatment. Yeah.
On the same light, speaking about programs that are put in place, now that we are dealing with Lung Cancer Month, what are some of the programs that you have with the organization you're in? What are some of the programs that you have set in place?
First of all, I'd like to start from our hospital as HCG. We do a lot of public awareness forums. We do the health checks, free health checks all over the country. We do have latest equipment and machines to help treat these diseases. We do have the latest drugs to help treat these diseases. We are in partnership with SHA, which helps in health financing. We know cancer treatment is not the cheapest, and it's really expensive. But working with SHA and the government, and also with private insurance companies to help treat these diseases. I'd also want to talk about now how the government has come in to help treat and help people with this cancer issue we have in our country. So first of all, the government did create the National Cancer Institute, which is in charge of just basically giving awareness, treating all this, and ensuring that we have enough personnel who treat cancer in our country. Second thing is the government has increased training and programs to help people to help us get the personnel to treat cancer. Also we have other private companies. We do have programs that help access these medications. Like, for example, you have AstraZeneca giving us the Nuru program for some of the drugs for cancer. So it's we have multiple people coming in to help in terms of cancer treatment in our country. So we have the private, the public, and also have the NGOs all working together to try and fight cancer.
Okay. You as a doctor, do you think we have enough facilities in our hospitals and technology also that is enough to deal with the problems we have?
Well, unfortunately, we're still lagging behind, but that doesn't mean we don't have any progress. Like if we look at 5 years, 10 years back, we have really taken many steps forward. We have now specialized cancer hospitals like HCG, we have now more personnel, the universities are now training more people to come and treat cancer. So even though we are still lagging behind, I think we are walking in the right direction. Yeah.
Wow. So there's a time we heard of cases of unregistered hospitals that are supposed to be funded and all that.
Yeah.
So as a doctor, what do you think about that? Like everything in regards to unregistered hospitals?
That is a thing for now the oversight bodies like the Kenya Medical Council that comes in to help identify these unregistered hospitals. This is to protect the Kenyan, the mwananchi, because every facility needs to be to have the authority to treat patients. So if a facility is not registered, that means they probably are not fit to treat patients. So it's to protect the Kenyan, the common Kenyan. So if they are shut down, I think it's just for the best of everyone.
We get this news that the government shuts down 544 hospitals. Yeah. In as much as we are taking the aspect of the fact that wanna protect wananchi,
Yes.
don't you also think that now if I used to go to this hospital and it's now shut down, there's no hospital near me, the chances of me dying out of sickness because I can't get help are high? Or what do you think about that?
I do agree with you. Maybe the number of facilities we have in our country are not adequate.
Yeah.
And we really do need to increase the numbers. We also need to increase funding to the local hospitals. We have the tier 1 or level 1, level 2 hospitals. But also you need to come in to understand that just not anyone can start a facility. You just can't go and you are not trained and say, this is my hospital, I'll be seeing people and giving them medication. You need to be accredited by the government, okay? And there are things you need to pass, or there's a checklist you need to go, and there's some things you need to have for you to be a facility.
Yeah.
Now you imagine going to a hospital and someone is a quack, and they tell you, okay, you have malaria, well, probably you have TB, and you start taking drugs for malaria, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that's why the government has to protect everyone. And those unregistered facilities, they need to get registered. They need to go through inspection. They need to go pass every checklist.
Be verified and
yes,
like so that we can also know that it's safe.
It's safe, yeah, because anyone can just say I'm a doctor and they open their facility.
Ulimaliza college ukaamua
yeah,
kufungua hospitali yako. So on the same note, are there high diagnosis, like misdiagnosis cases? Because now if, for example, in sasa hizi hospitali zenye haziko registered wamefungua, and then we realize, oh, these are quacks, they don't even have the verification to be doctors. So that does that mean that saa zingine kidogo somewhere are being treated for diseases they don't have?
Yeah, it's true. You should understand the mentality of now someone who's a quack. All they want to do is get money from you.
Yeah.
So they'll do anything and tell you anything so that they can get money.
There are these tests you're supposed to have and all that.
I have seen a lot of people, a lot of patients come in, and they tell me I was going to this hospital, and this doctor was just telling me, come after 2 weeks, come after 2 weeks. But I was not getting any better. But instead of this person referring the patient or seeking another, a second opinion, they're still milking you for your money. Yeah. And that is something a lot of Kenyans need to be cautious about. Yeah.
Maybe I'd say growing up or hata saizi pia, we always hear most people who have cancer are going to India.
Yeah.
Tunachanga pesa because they need to be taken to India.
Yeah,
does that still keep on? Some facilities that are in India are also now with us, that not everyone has to go to India. Ukishapata cancer, there's a level imefika lazima uende India.
That is a really misconception that our country, we are not fit enough to treat patients who get cancer. Well, I think back in the day, like a few years back, when we didn't have this technology, we didn't have these drugs locally, people would prefer going abroad. But now we have this technology here.
Yeah.
We have the latest machines. We have the latest drugs in our country. Okay, we have a specialized hospital. HCG is a specialized hospital just for cancer treatment. So most people think about going to India, and it's very expensive. Well, you can just get treated here. We have SHA comes in and helps pay for that. You can get local doctors who actually will work with you all the way. I've seen people going to India to get treatment, and then they come back and they continue here.
Yeah.
You just be told, go back to your country, because these things are available here. So I'd want people to embrace more of our Kenyan facilities, more of our Kenyan specialists. Yeah, because they are all trained, they are globally accredited.
Okay. On the same note, you've told us you've been practicing for about 5 years. What is one cancer case that stood out for you? Maybe mahali mlikuwa mmeona there is no hope here, or we are really trying our best, but then God did it and someone got healed, or cancer ikaisha, and maybe it was at a stage you thought as doctors or felt maybe it was kind of difficult.
Yeah. Many cases. There's so many cases. People come and people think this hope is lost. I'd say I met an elderly lady a while back, and she was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it had already been stage 4. So most people think you've got lung cancer, it's stage 4, that's it, you're done. And we started her on targeted treatment, and she started the treatment, and each time she came to hospital, she was better and better and better. And for 5 years, she was doing really well. Her symptoms had gone, and she was walking the journey. Her family was walking with her. And funny thing is, this lady was a foreigner. She was white, and she was coming to a local hospital and getting the treatment.
Yeah.
And she was doing so well. Okay, so it's not cancer doesn't mean it's a death sentence. You're done. You're gone. It's once you get the specialized treatment, you can improve and you can live your life normally for years and years to come. Yeah.
Now, do you think mindset really helps or plays a part in someone's treatment? Like how I think and how I perceive the fact that I have cancer, can it really affect the fact that whether I'm going to get healed or not?
It does. It does a lot. Because people who have the right mindset, people who know they're going to get better, actually are seen to do way better than people who don't. Because I think people who have the right mindset, people who think they're going to get better, actually follow treatment as it's supposed to be, and they follow what the doctor recommends. But people who have lost hope and they're thinking, okay, I'm done for, tend to shy away from treatment, tend to shy away from any advice that they're given. So having just the right mindset can be a step in the right direction in terms of treatment, in terms of how you perform. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, because at times we love talking about mindset, and we are like, okay, we were talking about manifesting at some point, and we are like, what you speak and what you manifest and what you believe comes to pass. And he has said, like, because at times you feel like, okay, tuanze tu na kitu kama HIV, thinking of you getting tested, and you're like, what if I go get that, I'm positive?
Yeah.
Most people are very afraid of that, because they feel like, getting this, I'm done, I'm done for. But now, as the doctor has explained to us, the mindset is very important. But now, at times, I could be positive, but everyone around me is pointing out to the fact that, unaenda, si ukubali tu, you know. So how do patients, or what precautions do you take to help patients kind of live with the fact that the people don't believe, or chances are not there of them getting healed, but you want them to have the positive mindset and also keep believing that they're going to do this?
I think that's a really good question. We do understand that the patient outcome actually also depends on the support they get from their caregivers and their family. We normally have programs and counseling for patients who have this cancer. We usually bring in the patient, we bring in the family, and we have counseling. We talk to them, and we inform them that for your patient to do well, you need to support them, this and this and this. Okay, we have programs in Faraja where Faraja is our partner, and it's an NGO that helps cancer patients in terms of finances, in terms of palliative care. We collaborate with them. So when a patient comes in, the first thing we do, you've got cancer, okay, but you also need counseling. So we start with counseling. We start with counseling the family on how we're going to go about this disease and the treatment and everything. This now will help everyone have now the positive mentality to understand that we need to support this patient.
Yeah. Amazing. I hope you've learned something, and I love telling us that every time we have this, have a book and a pen to write down, because these are important things that you need to note and you're going to use in the future, okay? So yes, thank you so much, Dr. Maybe what are some of the last remarks you can tell us? Tell our audience, and also where can we find you online?
Thank you. I'd like to say that getting a cancer diagnosis is not a death sentence as it used to be, let's say 20 years back. Right now, we as Kenya, we as HCG, I am a doctor at HCG, specialized in cancer treatment. We have the latest machines, we have the latest drugs to help our patients get better. HCG is located in Nairobi at Parklands, next to Mpisha Hospital. You'll be able to find me there anytime. You'll be able to find my colleagues who are specialized in cancer treatment. Thank you.
Amazing. I hope kwanza hiyo ya directions, I hope take note, and I hope you are going to flock uko hivyo, muende nyinyi wote mkwe diagnosed first, muangaliwe, ukishajua uko sawa basi we relax, okay? This is Why in the morning, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope umelearn. Kwanza hapo kwa kulana niliwaambia nitawapiga. I'm very sorry for those that I have fought kidogo, but you must love yourself, you must take care of your body, and yes, tunawapenda sana. It has been amazing. Stay tuned. Bado hatujamaliza. Yeah.
Thank you.